So, Amy, tell me a little bit about what you do. It sounds like you have an incredible career happening now.
Um, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. It's always a hard question to answer. So I am a space flight historian, which is not a real job that people have. So what that looks like is I have a YouTube channel. I am an author. I've written 2 books. I do a lot of like expert interviewees on TV. I'm a public speaker, and kind of like if you ever need my expertise, and also someone who can be on camera, and also someone who is, not a man who saw the moon landing happen, you find me. So it's kind of where I fit in.
Nice. And what got you into that field? Because it sounds so much fun.
It is. I first learned about the moon landing when I was 7. So I was researching for a second grade project on Venus, and I had this book, 1,000 Facts About Space for Kids. And there's a 2-page spread on every planet and every kind of topic. And there's one on the moon with a cartoon of 2 astronauts on the surface. And I'm from Canada. So it's not like, everyone, their grandfather works for NASA when you're not in the United States. And I saw this and I was like, wait, people went to the moon? Why was I not informed? How did I not know this happened? And I wanted to know how and why and who and all of the things. And, it's one of those questions that the more you answer, the bigger the answer becomes. So I've been able to kind of turn that into a career, answering that question, essentially.
Wow, you are amazing. And you're so young too that it makes it like, wow, you're such a great role model.
Thanks. I try. I figure if I can, show people, it's always the weird thing. It's always, I never thought I would be in a position, but if I can show people that like you can be a girl and pursue the things that you want to do, even if it's science related, and still enjoy coloring your hair, if I can, be a role model for one person, then it's huge for me.
I have a little niece coming in May, so you could be her role model too. Yeah, she's gonna be my goddaughter too, and I'm so excited. My sister's showered this weekend, so I'm like,
nice.
Yes, nice. I'm so excited. Socially distanced over Zoom, but still.
Yeah, still.
Yeah. And what would you say, other than that, would you say was the biggest challenge about being taken seriously as a woman in this field?
I mean, I think the challenge, I wish I could say was past tense, but the challenge is ongoing, I think, on a daily basis. It's just huge. It's just always there. There's oh God, where do you even start? It's just like, if you're doing, so I research all my own videos. It takes me weeks to put together one YouTube video, and writing the book took years. And even having all of that behind me, people still see me and have the knee-jerk reaction of, who is this woman talking? I want to see the person who did the research. And people don't understand, especially because like I made the decision to stop kind of dressing the way people think, quote unquote, think a scientist should look, with the kind of more muted palettes. Like, I love mid-century clothing. I wear pinup style dresses a lot. I have my makeup and my hair done because that's authentic to me. And people see that and they're immediately like, I would take you, I mean, literally, people say this in my comments all the time. I would take you seriously if you weren't wearing lipstick. I would take you seriously, but like, how can I listen to you when I can see cleavage? And I'm like, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. Because like, it's why I've had people email me to tell me that they would take me more seriously if I presented myself a little bit more professionally. And I'm like, I am nothing. I'm not wearing like gratuitous, Betty Page clothes. I am wearing a dress, and it's just who I am, and it becomes a thing. So the challenge is very much there, and it's just an uphill battle every single day.
And that's what always upsets me about this, the way you're being treated. You're an incredible, intelligent woman, and you're such a good role model. Like I said, I want you to be a role model for baby A when she's born. And it's so gross. And I think you're excellent. I think you're wonderful. And you just keep doing you, girl. You're incredible. You're incredible. So it breaks my heart that you're being treated like this. So
it's just, the mantra of, don't read the comments is very real. I've actually like been campaigning YouTube with what little influence I have to make it so that you don't get a preview of comments so that you can't even be tempted to look at it. But you know, people will find a way to come to you. And I think this is the case. And I've posted about this a little bit on social media, and my female friends weigh in, and I think it's everywhere. If they can't find something to nitpick about your work, they just nitpick you. And you know, to the point where people are very offended by my Canadian accent.
Oh my
It's just whatever you do, it's gonna be wrong. So you just kind of just disengage from everything.
That's what I do. I just can't. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
it's
just,
exhausting.
you don't like me, you can't judge me. Only
Yeah,
can judge me.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so tell me about this book of yours.
Fighting for Space. This is really kind of a labor of love. It is the dual biography of two pilots, Jackie Cochran and Jerry Cobb. Jackie was, and I should say, a generation apart, these two women, and their stories really intertwine and overlap over the question of whether or not women should fly in space in the 1960s. It's an entirely true story. The issue did get all the way to a congressional subcommittee hearing, and as we know, never flew. So I wanted to know the real story of why, because when this story is brought up in the media a lot, it's one of those things that someone finds it every few years. It comes up as, you know, women kept out of NASA because they're women. And when I started really digging into it, all of the stories didn't really work for me because, having done so much space history, the NASA story was missing. And I know what NASA was doing in the early 60s. And even though there's, you know, a societal thing where women are not at the level of being able to do certain things, it didn't make sense that it was as simple as sexism. Not to mention there was this villain that's always in the story who kind of like, I kind of describe her like a Disney villain. Like, she swoops down from her castle on high, thwarts the young women, and then goes home to hang out with her pet raven. Like, she's Maleficent. She has no backstory. Turns out this backstory, this woman, Jackie Cochran, is the most decorated pilot of the 20th century, the first woman to fly faster than sound, saved LBJ's life one day, was friends with Chuck Yeager, who taught her how to fly a jet, led the Women's Air Force Service pilots during the Second World War, and like a host of other things. And also on the side just ran a luxury cosmetics company. And I'm like, there's no way that it's as simple as she didn't want someone else doing it, so she got in the way. So I decided, okay, it's actually Jackie's story, and Jerry comes into it as the first woman who happens to be in the right place, the right time, the right age to take the medical tests that the astronauts took. So I basically took this narrative and whipped it on its head and put it in the context of these two women's stories colliding over this one issue to tease out that it's so much more complicated and nuanced than gender. It's personalities, it's clashes, it's cultural, it's societal. There's a ton of stuff going on. It's a big story.
Wait. I cannot wait to see it. I am so excited to read it. And tell me a little bit about the YouTube channel.
Yeah, my YouTube channel, it's almost 9 years old at this point. It's called The Vintage Space. It's kind of, I always say in my intro, in part because I got annoyed with people telling me what the channel should and shouldn't be. It's basically my home on the internet to discuss the things that I like. And that tends to be mid-century space technology relating to Cold War, space exploration, and anything in that vein.
Incredible. And now you're going to get to tour my house because someone dropped off my stuff at my door. So, and look, yeah, tour my house. And did your cat jump?
He was trying to get into the cabinets, and he can't because they have
Of course.
locks on them. But he's annoying anyways.
Oh,
Cats.
that is so cute,
Cats
though. You can't help but love cats.
I know. I love him more
Yes,
than
like
anything, even when he's a giant pain in the tush.
yeah, me too with my mom's cats. It's just like, cannot help but love cats.
Yeah.
And of course, UPS had to stop by when I was trying to do an interview. They never show up when they're supposed to. Yep. So anyway, that's what happens with, these interviews. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, it's all good.
So what's next for you?
Oh, I don't totally know yet. COVID has definitely made things more difficult. I am currently, maintaining the YouTube channel. That's kind of my little internet baby because I get to just kind of play with the things that I like. I'm also branching out into a little bit of a different direction on a new YouTube channel, looking at American history because I'm fascinated with how this country ended up where it is. So we're starting at about 1300. And I'm an academically trained historian who was not educated in this country. I have no biases I'm coming in with. And I want to learn. So we're doing that. And, in the meantime, just kind of trying to figure out what the next big undertaking will be. Do you mind pausing for 1 second? I need to go move my cat because I don't know if you can hear the banging.
Yes. And now we
All right.
now we have a special
so sorry
guest.
about that.
It's okay, it happens. Now
we
we
have
have a very special
a
guest.
meowing guest.
Hey, meowing guests
I
are
just
the
didn't want
best kind.
banging in the background.
It happens. It happens.
So yes, what is next is kind of trying to figure out what's next. It's been difficult to kind of maintain being a creative through COVID, and just kind of keeping on, and I'm kind of waiting to see what happens next. I don't have a big plan, unfortunately.
Well, you'll get it. And I can't wait to see this American history show. I'm a history buff. So if you need help, let me know. Maybe we can collaborate.
Nice. Yeah, it's been very interesting to look into the breadth of stuff that's been written about, pre-contact America, and how much there's entire works of scholarship dedicated to pre-contact America, and then entire works of scholarship dedicated to teasing apart that scholarship because no one can agree on anything because there's no records. It's fascinating in itself. It's fascinating.
It is. You're in for an incredible treat learning about all this American history. And if you want a good historical movie, watch 1776. I mean, it's based on the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
And signing it. I mean, it's a musical, but it gets you through it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Hamilton, but like the Declaration of Independence. It's cute. I watch it every 4th of July.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it's cute. It's cute. And one thing I like to ask people I interview is, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Oh, fun fact about myself. Oh, I always come ready with a fun fact about space, never a fun fact about myself. I think the fun fact about I once made an astronaut laugh so hard he cried. That's just kind of a fun story. There was an issue on Apollo 12 in 1969 where they had a can of tuna that was open on board the spacecraft, and Dick Gordon, the command module pilot, wanted to know if he could eat it because it was exposed to pure oxygen, which could make it go bad faster. So it became this hour-long conversation with the ground of whether or not it was safe to eat the tuna. And about 4 or 5 years ago, he's passed since, but I asked him about if he remembered this issue, and I showed him the transcript, and he laughed so hard that he cried, and I felt really good that I was able to bring him that moment. And he's like, I have no memory of this at all. I probably just ate the damn thing and didn't tell anybody about it. And I was like, and you live to tell the tale.
That is hysterical. So good thing he lived to tell the tale, because it could have been worse.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing you want is food poisoning when you're orbiting the moon.
Yes, especially tuna.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I got sick on tuna before, and I couldn't eat it for like a year after.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, no. And since we're a TV site, what are you watching on TV these days?
Not that much, to be totally honest. I have been rewatching Frasier for about the 40th time.
I love Frasier.
That show, I got to say, that show holds up mainly because of David Hyde Pierce. He is so great, and I feel like it's one of those layered shows. It's so clever that there's jokes that you don't get until the 50th time. There's a joke once where they're talking about how Frasier dated a woman as well as her cousin as well as her niece, and Niles says, "Yes, he went through that family like a recessive gene." Like, I would never have caught that joke when I was a kid when it aired in the 90s, but like, it's such a good line. So yeah, the put downs are very funny. I've just been, I don't know, COVID brain is going to familiar favorites, and Frasier has been kind of in the background a lot. So
I've had that on too. I love it. It's just such a good show, good show. And now they're rebooting it, so I'm curious to see how that works.
They're just rebooting everything. We'll see.
I know. It's crazy what they've rebooted, but
yeah.
And where can we follow you on social media so you kids can follow all your amazing stories?
Me on social media, the best place is probably, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, just at Amy Shira Title, my full name. That's it. And I post, daily stuff, space stuff, history stuff, general stuff, but also all of my videos from my YouTube channel, The Vintage Space. And I've got links to buy the book everywhere as well. So yeah, just search my name on Twitter and you'll find me.
I can't wait to add you. And I feel like I made my new best friend right here today because there's so much in common.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Amy. Be safe, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yep, of course. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Pete.